They left you, and in their leaving, a strange silence arrived, not as punishment, but as a gentle invitation. You see, solitude is not the absence of love. It is the presence of something deeper, a divine recalibration, where the universe pauses to whisper truths too subtle for crowded rooms. When the noise fades, the music begins. What if their departure was not betrayal, but choreography? What if the emptiness they left behind was the exact space you were meant to build within? Not to fill with noise, but to shape into meaning. Every falling away is a falling into place. In the same way night pulls stars into view, your loneliness only reveals your light more clearly. You were never abandoned. You were selected for stillness, for strength, for sovereignty. This isn't the end of a connection. It's the beginning of alignment. Their departure was not chaos. It was choreography. Life is not punishing you. It's positioning you. The emptiness you feel is not a void. It's sacred space being cleared for clarity, for purpose for you. They left so the divine could enter more deeply. Aloneness is not a defect. It is a doorway. In the silence of solitude, you hear what crowds drown out: your essence, your rhythm, your path. Stillness isn't stagnation. It's the soil from which inner sovereignty grows. You are not just rebuilding, you are reimagining. When others leave, you're gifted with unfiltered creativity. Unfiltered creativity. This is your time to build, not in reaction to the world, but in alignment with your soul. Every stone you place alone is sacred. You are not a mistake. You are part of a cosmic symphony that never drops a note. But even this heartbreak, this disconnection has been folded precisely into the music of your becoming. You're still on tempo, even if the players around you change. Let the ache teach you. Let the silence shape you. Pain isn't punishment. It's perspective. Pain isn't punishment. It's perspective. Like fire refining gold. Your grief strips away illusion and leaves behind the unshakable. Your truth, your essence, your direction. This is not a revenge arc. It's a resurrection. Build not to show them what they missed, but to become who you were always meant to be. Your life isn't a reaction to abandonment. It's a reflection of divinity moving through you. They left you. Yes, I know. That sudden absence, the way the room echoes differently now, the questions that linger like uninvited guests in your mind. But let us not be so quick to curse what we don't yet understand. Sometimes the collapse is not a failure, but a quiet invitation. You see, there's a strange intelligence beneath the surface of things, an elegant design working silently, even when everything feels scattered. What you call abandonment may, in truth, be alignment in disguise. Consider this. The branch doesn't fight when the leaf lets go. It doesn't panic, doesn't question whether it was enough. The tree simply continues growing, because it understands something we often forget, that shedding is not loss. It is part of rhythm, of preparation, of transition. So too, when people exit your life, it may not be rejection. It might just be redirection. What if they were only meant to walk with you until the edge of a season? What if their chapter in your story was complete, not because you weren't worthy of more pages, but because their part was only ever meant to be an introduction to your unfolding? We forget that the soul's path is not always a path lined with companions. Sometimes the universe clears the room so you can finally hear your own voice. And, oh, what a voice it is. Have you ever thought that their departure may have been the only way to bring you back to yourself? There are moments when the divine doesn't send a storm. It simply removes the distractions, one by one, until all that remains is you, Ra, present, undeniably real. And in that stillness, life begins to whisper again, not through others, through you. So what seems like an unraveling is actually a return. You are not being discarded. You are not being discarded. You are being refined. A sculptor never apologizes for chiseling the marble. It is through the subtraction that form emerges. Similarly, what's being taken from your life now is not punishment. It is precision. It is the quiet, sacred motion of the universe shaping you into something more exact, more aligned, more whole. You were never meant to carry everyone forward. Not all companions are destined for the summit. Some were only there for the base of the mountain to help you take the first steps. But there comes a point when elevation demands solitude, air thins, voices fade, and all that remains is you and the echo of your becoming. It's tempting to turn backward, to beg those who left to come back, to make sense of their leaving. But what if sense is not the point? What if the greater wisdom lies in trust, not explanation? After all, even rivers let go of banks to find the ocean. So, let it be. Let the leaving be sacred. Let the silence be a sanctuary, not a sentence. Because something remarkable happens when you stop chasing what's gone and start listening to what's left. And what's left is you. You, untethered, unburdened, unmistakably alive. And that, my friend, is not the end of the story. That is where it truly begins. Alone. It's such a heavy word, isn't it? It echoes. It carries a kind of gravity that pulls at the chest and settles in the bones. Most of us try to escape it. We keep the music on, the screen's lit, the conversation's endless. Because if we ever stop to listen to the silence, truly listen, we might discover something that unnerves us even more than loneliness, ourselves. But let's just sit with that for a moment. What if being alone wasn't a curse but a kind of pilgrimage, not away from life, but toward it? You see, what we often call a loneliness is just the beginning of sacred stillness, the kind of space where the deeper voice of life begins to speak. And not in shouts, not in fireworks or miracles, but in a whisper, a breath, a knowing. When everyone leaves, something strange happens. The noise that wants to find you begins to fall away. Their opinions, their projections, their needs, all the roles you wore like costumes begin to loosen, And in their absence, you begin to sense the quiet hum of your own presence. It had been there all along, of course, but buried beneath layers of distraction. Now, stripped of all that, you start to hear it again, the real you. There's a subtle intelligence woven into the quiet, a rhythm you can't hear until the world stops talking. This is not punishment. This is invitation. Solitude, when truly entered, is not empty. It is fertile, creative, alive. It's where your thoughts stop echoing other people's voices and begin to take shape in your own language. It's where your inner compass, once spinning wildly under the weight of obligation, finally begins to settle, to point true north. Most people fear this silence because they associate it with absence. But in truth, it is full of everything that matters. There's a great paradox here. You only begin to feel deeply connected to life when you stand fully apart from it. Not in a detached, cold way, but in an awakened one. Like a mountain, not separate from the valley, but towering above it to see the whole picture. When you're alone, you begin to realize that you are not broken because they left. You are whole because you remained. You're not waiting to be completed by someone else. You are rediscovering that you were never incomplete to begin with. Relationships can enhance your life, yes. But they were never meant to replace your center. And this isn't about building walls. It's not about shutting down or becoming bitter. It's about discovering the profound beauty of your own company. Can you sit with yourself without flinching? Can you feel your own breath without running from? Can you walk through the silence and find not emptiness, but elegance? What emerges from this kind of stillness is power, in the laying of one honest stone upon another. And if you ever doubt the beauty of the solitude, just remember, the temple was never meant to be crowded during construction.